Hi, everybody. Ken Johnson here with you, and we're watching a slow-moving storm system tonight out west. We're seeing clouds currently moving from west to east. These are high-level clouds. They're up there at jet stream level, which would be about 20 to 30,000 feet in the atmosphere. Oh, no precipitation falling from those at this time. I do look for the cloud cover to gradually increase out west and even further north and to Texas and Oklahoma later tonight, and especially as we head into Tuesday here. I don't think we see much rain until we get into maybe tomorrow night, which would be Tuesday night, and into Wednesday. And it looks like by Thursday, most of it would be shifting over into the eastern part of the state of Texas here. But you can see the spin. This is that storm system. You can see the circular motion around it here, sitting over the southwestern part of the country. Now, what's keeping it from moving is the north. There's two branches of the jet stream right now we're watching. It's kind of what we call split flow. You got the polar jet that's kind of up here. It's diving down from Canada, and it moves, kind of to the east there. Then you got the southern branch, the subtropical or the Pacific jet here, kind of merging with that. So it's called confluent flow. It comes together, and wind currents and patterns are what pushes storm systems across the globe here. So it can't. This acts like a wall. It can't move anywhere. So it's just sitting there and spinning. But gradually, this is going to shift to the east, and as it does so, this storm system is going to finally kick out. And as it does so, we'll see rain chances gradually increase here. And since it's having a hard time moving, when it comes to a piece of energy that digs in on the back side of it, it's going to get pretty intense as it moves into Texas. And there could be some thunderstorms with this go around here. So if we look at it, we're looking from we're really from southern Nebraska, Missouri, all the way down into the Lone Star State here. This is our storm system, primarily Wednesday night, and again, it shifts east on Thursday here. Now, back in the cold side of this, over the Rocky Mountains, there might be some snow with this. I don't know if you'll recall, and you may not even been paying attention to it, but on Friday there was this big panic. One run of the GFS showed this massive snow over West Texas in the form of 2 feet. And, of course, the YouTubers and the TikTokers and whatnot had a lot of fun with that. But, it was one bad run of that, so you don't see it now, and that's not going to happen. What you mostly see with this would be wet weather. There's just not any cold air around for snow this go around here. In fact, as it gets to the east, we could see some pretty good storms, basically from near or just east of Wichita Falls, and especially closer to the Dallas area, and then across areas along and east of I-35, and then you go down to the south here into more central and south and southeast Texas. If we take a look at the upper level energy, this is, again, up there at 500 millibars, or about 20,000 feet in the atmosphere. We're looking for spin, and there it is. Look at how this digs just deep down here into Baja California and into the northern parts of Mexico and the southwestern part of the country. This is what I was talking about, that confluent flow, how it comes together, and this system just couldn't move much. But as we get into Wednesday, there it is. It's finally beginning to move here. And then watch Wednesday night and Thursday. This begins to kick out. This is that energy, a lot of it down here, coming out of Mexico. And as it moves eastward, you're going to see a big, what's called split in the atmosphere. It's going to be a lot of push upwards in the atmosphere here. And you're going to see, right there, look at that. So we call this difluence. It's a bit of a divergence, okay? So you've got the flow around the big upper air system. It's more of out of the south to due north here. Then you got this is the southern branch of the jet here, and how it begins to move more to the right. So you've got left movement over this way, right movement over this way. And when you do like this, let's say you're in a pool of water, and you move your hands apart like that, what happens? Well, the water on top here evacuates, but the water underneath it comes up. Atmosphere acts a lot like water, and that's what's happening here. You got an evacuation of the atmosphere up high in the atmosphere, moving the air outward like this, and allows the air underneath it to rise. There's a lot of push upwards. So this is going to force thunderstorms to develop late Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. And if we take a look, this is going to show where the atmosphere is trying to become more favorable for storms. That would mean a little bit of an increase in what we call instability, a little increase in moisture here, and that push in the atmosphere like I was talking about there. You can see a little wave of that into northwest Texas, southwest Oklahoma, but it looks like the main push will be down here in the central and southern and eastern parts of Texas, maybe up to the Dallas-Fort Worth area here as we head into midnight there on Thursday. In fact, there's a little bit of a risk for some stronger thunderstorms here across parts of Texas, mostly central and eastern Texas, north central Texas, maybe here late Wednesday night and early on Thursday morning. If we take a look at the high resolution stuff, this is our in-house what's called graph computer model. I'm usually not a big fan of it, but the HRRR doesn't quite go out far enough for me to really be able to show it to you here. So we're using the in-house model. You have to take it with a grain of salt. This thing can sometimes be a bit overdone. Here we are, of course, on Monday evening, not much going on. We get into Tuesday, clouds are increasing, and this is just kind of the leading wave of that storm system beginning to kick out here. Well, maybe showers trying to break out Tuesday night across parts of the Lone Star State. And then you can come and see kind of like the comma here. This is that storm center. Remember, counterclockwise circulation with these storm systems here. So you get from southwest Texas back into New Mexico and the Colorado Rockies here. And you can almost see the comma there here. You're seeing showers from Amarillo down to San Antonio, down into the Austin area. And there might be some thunderstorms trying to develop here. And as we get into Wednesday night, early Thursday, this is the main storm center. Remember I was talking about, that split, that evacuation of the atmosphere here. And there are those storms developing right where that evacuation is taking place here. And you can see heavier rain and storms with these. Again, I don't expect a lot of severe weather with this, but some heavy downpours and isolated stronger severe storm will be possible with some strong gusty winds with this, especially along Interstate 35, Dallas, all the way down to the Austin, San Antonio area. And then you'll watch down here in Houston. Now, if we can get what we call surface-based thunderstorms here, early on Thursday morning. And surface-based, it just means that they're that the bottom layer of the storm is just a little bit closer to the Earth's surface, and usually that happens when you get a lot more humidity and more juice at the Earth's surface, and that's the ones that could be more severe. So if that were to happen, there could be some supercells that might have a bit of a hail, wind, maybe even a bit of a tornado risk down here. We'll see if that does evolve. But as we move into the morning hours on Thursday here, a pretty solid line moving into the Arklatex, and it will gradually move eastward. I do expect the rain to end across northwest Texas, a good part of Texas here to the west. You get up to the north, there's showers here across Kansas and Oklahoma, into southeast. There's a heavy rain over in Arkansas. And then there will be some areas of snow back here into the Colorado Rockies and New Mexico higher elevations. But again, this is not a big winter storm. It's just not simply, there's just not enough in the way of cold air to produce much in the way of snow with this particular system here. But if you look at rainfall amounts, and this is probably a little more in line with what I'm looking at here. Again, that graph computer model I just showed you might be a little overdone. I think the heaviest rain will be just east of Wichita Falls, maybe starting over into Clay, Montague County, Jefferson County, Oklahoma, dropping to the south down towards maybe San Angelo or just east of San Angelo, over towards Austin into the Dallas area. Look at that, Sherman showing up over 4 inches of rain, Tyler up close to 2 inches. So widespread 2 to 3 inch rainfall amounts, isolated amounts could be higher over here across north central, northeast, and southeastern parts of Oklahoma here. And again, north central, northeastern parts of Texas down into central Texas as well. Further west you go, the lighter the rain amounts will likely be with this. Let's kind of change the subject here a little bit. We just went from talking about rain and thunderstorms here to talking about temperatures again. Remember, as we looked at last week, the big rare winter storm along the Gulf Coast, we had a lot of Arctic air in place. It's because the polar vortex has sent some waves of cold air to the south. Well, the polar vortex, what happens is when it weakens, the upper atmosphere, we call it the stratosphere, begins to warm. And as that happens, the polar vortex gets weaker, and it dislodges from where the cold spots are up here, and it will throw colder air to the south. Well, this week, and even maybe into the last couple of days in January, first couple of days in February here, the polar vortex is back strong again. So it's kind of back where it's supposed to be, and it's sitting up here spinning. But look down to the south. You don't see the influences from the Arctic. You see across a good part of the central and southern U.S., the yellows, the oranges, the greens. That's kind of indicative of Pacific air. So our air, instead of coming from up here where it's really cold, is coming from back in here, the Pacific Ocean. Usually that means mild weather. Mild during the day, cool at night. Now, as we get into early February, there could be some cold air, at least a piece that may branch off and drop to the south. So we may start February on a warm note. This is through February the 2nd. But again, I'm watching up here, Canada, the northern parts of the country. This is not a bitterly cold air mass dropping south, but there are some indications that maybe around my mom's birthday, which is February the 4th here, there could be some chilly air dropping south here. And we'll have to see if any influences from any type of storm system could throw moisture into this. But right now, it looks like it'd just be maybe a shot of some cold air for a little while here. But again, you just don't see this big dump of cold air. Now, it's up there, and at some point in time, during the month of February, we'll probably see a batch of cold air at some point in time. But with La Nina, and we are in a La Nina weather pattern, usually what happens is you get your wall or your big ridge of high pressure that sits over in the southwestern part of the country, and it forces the jet stream to stay up over it, and it keeps the cold air locked up here into Canada and in the northern and eastern part of the country. So if that indeed happens, that might be where the coldest air is seen, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see how it all plays out. We're not done with winter yet, but it does look like, at least for a little while, the U.S. is about to warm up. And again, rain chances and some heavy rain in some parts of the Lone Star State here as we head into the middle of this week. Once again, my name is Ken Johnson. Thanks for watching me here on my social media platform.